Peace, bud. This is yours truly, Hippie Pastor with Show-229. It's a little embarrassing for me because, I'm not a man of many mistakes, but when I make mistakes, sometimes they're big. So, in the previous show, 228, about Mary Magdalene not being Jesus' main squeeze, I'm sure Jesus had more than one main squeeze, Yes, yeah, right. Sharing a little bit of love, the gift of his Father, why not? In love there is no sin. Now, this is show 229 where I want to apologize for show 228. The story was wonderful, the story was perfect, the story was well said, except for one big mistake. It was not the town of Bethel, where Lazarus and Mary and Martha lived. Not Mary Magdalene, I'm talking about Mary, the sister of Lazarus. It was the town of Bethany, which is near the Mount of Olives, and which is where, around abouts where Jesus supposedly did that Peter Pan stunt and went flying into heaven. Goodbye. Adios, amigos. I'm Peter Pan. Not so. There's two things that the hippie pastor does not agree with. Number one, that Jesus walked on water. He was a surfer, carpenter, hung out with guys on the beach, fishermen, and way before Jesus, and the Polynesians in those places, they practiced surfing. Dog, stop it. They practiced surfing. You got to control these animals. You got to show them who's alpha, right? So, more or less. So therefore, when they wanted to get, shellfish and things in the reefs where the boats couldn't get into, what did they do? They used these longboards. Then eventually became a game, young guys, and eventually became a sport, and then eventually became competition. So when Jesus was supposedly walking on water, they were surfing, man. Come on, use your common sense. And what? The Pharisees were always looking out to accuse him, so they wanted to say he was a male witch. He was a wizard. He was a Satan man. He could walk on water. But if you really look closely at those portraits of Jesus walking on water, you will notice a longboard under his feet. All right? So, and the other pet peeve I got is flying in the air like Peter Pan. Okay, Jesus had the power to raise people from the dead. Yes, he did. He rose the damsel. He rose Lazarus, the brother of Mary and Martha, which was not Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was a powerful woman, a lady of dignity, a madame who provided prostitutes high-end for the Roman soldiers. She was dignified. So it was not her in that party at the Pharisee's house where Jesus was invited, and this woman considered a sinner was kissing Jesus' feet and brushing them with her hair and just loving him and massaging his feet. And the Pharisees got a little upset and said among themselves, if Jesus was the Son of God, he would know. If he was a prophet, he would know what manner of woman is doing this to him, that she's a sinner. That was not Mary Magdalene, because Mary Magdalene she was upper class, man. She wouldn't she's not going to get down there on the floor kissing somebody's feet. Or even Jesus' feet. No, she was a classy lady. This was the Mary. There was a lot of Marys in those days, the Virgin Mary and a few others. And Mary, the sister of Lazarus and Martha, whom Jesus loved, and they lived in the town of Bethany. Not Bethel, like I said before, stupidly. Stupid mistake. But the story I said was perfect. But just a mistake I want to correct and apologize was saying the town of Bethel, which it was not. It was the town of Bethany. So Jesus, after he rose from the dead for 40, another thing, an issue, is how come the Roman soldiers didn't break Jesus' legs like they broke the legs of the other two crucified ones? And how come Joseph of Arimathea, who was a rich man, a friend of Pilate, Pontius Pilate, was able to take the body away? He asked the favor of his friend, Pontius Pilate. Anyway, after Jesus rose from the dead, he wandered for 40 days. Now, always incognito, in low key. If he could fly like Peter Pan, why couldn't he just fly? Why didn't he just fly over Jerusalem and say, "Hey, I'm Peter Pan, you can't touch me. I'm Peter Pan, you can't touch me." How come he didn't do that? No. He was hiding. He was disguised as a gardener on one occasion. On another occasion, he appeared to the apostles. They were out fishing in the boats, and he was on the shore waiting for them, and he was cooking. He was having a barbecue of fish. And when they came down, they all ate, and Jesus ate also. Take note that when Jesus rose several people from the dead, he commanded that they should be fed. Jesus ate. He was in flesh and blood. When he presented himself to Thomas and all the apostles that were in the room hiding, he told Thomas, "Here, touch my hands, see? Touch my hands. A spirit, doesn't have flesh. Touch my hands, touch the holes, put your finger in the holes if you doubt that it's me." Okay? But he was in flesh and blood. Always kind of low key, always kind of hiding. And then at the end of the 40 days, he went, coincidentally to Bethany, toward the Mountain of Olives there, where Mary and Martha and Lazarus lived. And one occasion, you may remember, and I'll repeat it again, that he was alone with Mary and Martha, and Martha complained to Jesus and said, "I'm doing all the hard work, cooking, whatnot, and my sister Mary is just sitting at your feet." Yeah. And Jesus told Martha, "Oh, Martha, Martha, thou art encumbered with too much service. But Mary hath chosen that good part which shall never be taken away from her." He wasn't talking about Mary Magdalene. He was talking about Mary of Bethany, the sister of Lazarus, and near where he went to pull the stunt, supposedly, the holy ascension. Woo! Flying into a cloud, but in the Bible it also says that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. He was not in spirit, he was flesh and blood. My theory is that they went into exile, a well-deserved one. He fulfilled his mission. He gave his life for us. He fulfilled his mission. He died in the most cruel manner that you could imagine. Okay? Okay. So he deserved to live, enjoy with his honey a life in exile. Where did they go? Maybe Greece, Lebanon, Cyprus, Syria, Turkey, Crete, Egypt, places that were nearby. And maybe he opened up a liquor store, wine, Jesus' wine and spirits. Maybe he didn't use the name Jesus, but he was good at making wine. And Mary, the sister of Martha and Lazarus, she was good at massaging. She could have opened a massage parlor. She was really into feet massaging, which is very important for your general health. So maybe something like that. Or he opened up a surfboard shop. Jesus, being a carpenter and playing around with longboards, maybe he opened a surf shop in one of those islands, Crete or Cyprus, around Greece, around islands where they grow magic mushrooms. So I just wanted to clarify that and apologize for my stupid mistake of saying that it was in the town of Bethel. Bethel is somewhere else which has nothing to do with the story. It was the town of the Bethany. Put it in your brain. Bethany. The hippie pastor made a mistake, and I'm apologizing for that mistake. And right now I just say, hasta luego. We'll be back shortly. May you feel that. May you sit at Jesus' feet and choose that good part which shall never be taken away from you, like Mary, the sister of Lazarus, and Martha did. Thank you.